It's time for the Leadership Lunch Break with Joy Jackson of Speaking of Joy. Let's tune in for today's discussion.
Good afternoon. I'm Joy Jackson of Speaking of Joy, and welcome to the Leadership Lunch Break. The Leadership Lunch Break is an opportunity for us to get together over lunch and discuss leadership principles. Today, from right here in my own kitchen, we're going to make a little salad. And while we're making the salad and you're sharing with your lunch, I want to invite you to think about leadership from a different perspective. Leadership is not about position or power. It's truly about influence. So I encourage you, as we're talking through leadership today, that you think about leadership from that perspective and ask yourself, as a leader, am I leaving a legacy? At Speaking of Joy, we define legacy by an acronym that I'm going to share with you as we prepare our lunch. The L is for lessons. You always want to ask yourself, as a leader, what lessons are you teaching your team? In other words, what are they learning from you? What experiences have you shared with them? And what information are you continuing to pour into them so that they become the leaders that they want to be? The E is for experiences. Everything in leadership is about experiences, and your team can have good or bad experiences, just depending on how they work with you. So what experiences are they sharing with you, and are you sharing with them? It doesn't have to be personal. It can be an experience that you shared along the way as you became the leader that you are. Or it can even be just moments that you have together while working together as a team. The next one is goals. I ask you, as a leader, what goals do you have for yourself and for those you work with? It's always important to make sure that together the group is moving in the direction to ensure that the goals are met. So that's L-E-G. The A is for abilities. A good leader always makes sure that the people around them bring out their best. So what abilities have you developed in your team and those who work with you to identify truly who they are and what they're able to contribute to the group? After we talk about abilities, we talk about characteristics. As individuals, it's always important that we display positive characteristics. So what characteristics do you share with your team? What are you encouraging them to do? What are you encouraging them to believe? And how are you encouraging them to work together? The most important thing as a leader is about results. So the question you want to ask yourself is, what did your leadership yield? Did it yield positivity? Did it yield relationship building? Did it yield discourse or mistrust? Because the truth is, a good leader will always leave a legacy that yields great results. So for the rest of the day, I encourage you to think about your leadership legacy. And I'll see you next week on the Leadership Lunch Break.
It's time for the Leadership Lunch Break with Joy Jackson of Speaking of Joy. Let's tune in for today's discussion.